Welcome to Out and About in Cabarrus County. I'm Steve Morris, Chairman of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners. We are very happy to be broadcasting today from the French Express Coffee House, located in the same complex as our Cabarrus County Human Services offices, as well as the offices for the Cabarrus Partnership for Children at the corner of Dale Earnhardt Boulevard and Cannon Boulevard here in Kannapolis. And I am very happy to have as my guest today Ann Benfield, who is the Executive Director of the Cabarrus Partnership for Children. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we can just start it off by exactly what is the Cabarrus Partnership for Children and what services do you provide? I think a lot of our viewers probably have never had an opportunity to really ask that question.
Our organization provides programs in the community for children 0 to 5 years old. We were incorporated in 1998 to bring Smart Start programs into Cabarrus County, and then in 2002 we expanded to bring in more at 4 or NC pre-kindergarten, and then in 2015 we acquired the Head Start grant for Cabarrus County. We connect purpose, people, and programs to ensure child well-being for the children 0 to 5. We provide programs in early education, family support, and health.
Exactly what is Smart Start?
Smart
which
Start
is kind of the core where you began.
Smart Start is was an initiative that was started by Governor Jim Hunt. It was designed to be a public-private partnership, and we were funded from the state at 25% of the need in the county for the 0 to 5 population, and the nonprofit board of directors that were actually formed were supposed to raise the rest of the money for the 0 to 5 population in the community, but that really hasn't happened over the last 20 plus years. So we still have great need in our county, and we know that there's over 12,000 children 0 to 5 in Cabarrus County, but we're only serving about a third of those children because there's just not enough state funds to serve these children.
Of those children that are not being served, is it safe to assume that some of those families maybe provide pre-K education services for their children outside of these programs, or I would think that's a kind of a mixed bag.
If the family can afford child care services, they can. Our program and the Department of Human Services also provides subsidized child care for children whose families are working but can't afford the child care because child care is extremely expensive in our community. We know right now that we have over 1,000 children waiting for child care in our community, and we just don't have the money, the subsidy monies, to actually help these families so that they can work and make a living for their family.
So you have actually 1,000 children on a waiting list?
Over 1,000.
For child care services. Now, those situations would be parents who, if that can't afford child care, if they were able to receive some assistance with that, then they would be able to work and perhaps
pay taxes.
Pay taxes and not have to use some of our human services that we have available. So we're really enabling people not only to improve the welfare of these children, but also to be contributing persons in our community. Is that a fair assessment?
Exactly. We know investing in children 0 to 5 is extremely important because research has shown us over the years, brain research, that 90% of a child's brain is formed by the age of 5. The return on investment in investing in child care services or family services or whatever we provide in early education, family support, or health for these children, we know that the return is going to be at least $7 to $13.
Wow.
In savings on special education in K-12 schools, or in trouble with the law, going to jail, being truant from school and stuff like that. In the programs that we've provided over the last almost 20 years that we've been in business, With Smart Start, we know that we've had a lot of amazing outcomes with a lot of our programs because we have programs not only in collaboration with Cabarrus County Schools, but with some other partners in the community with Cabarrus Health Alliance and Families First and some of our other programs that we work with. We know that these children are successful once they get in K-12.
Right, well, those pre-K and education, you're talking about ages 0 to 5, a huge percentage of brain development occurs. That's before children are traditionally enrolled in school.
Exactly.
Right. So these kids that are getting that are involved in these programs are starting school with a big advantage over those children that don't have that opportunity to get that early education, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Exactly. We know that if we can get to the children as soon as they're born and educate our families on the need for a literacy reading to their child and also providing some quality early learning experiences, we know their chances when they reach kindergarten, they're going to be ready. A lot of people talk about what's kindergarten ready, but it's really hard. It's different for every child. But we know that if we read to our children and if we provide quality experiences for them, we know that when they get to kindergarten, they're going to be ready to learn.
Right.
So through our Smart Start programs and our NC Pre-K programs, one of the big ones that we just started last year, I told you at the beginning, in the past we've only really served probably about 3,000 or 4,000 children, but last year in our programs, because we just got the results from our 15-16 year, and we touched almost 10,000 children in the county rather than 4,000, and the reason for that is a program that we have in collaboration with Community Care of Southern Piedmont and the Cabarrus Health Alliance and the pediatric practices in the community. We provide a book for every child when they go to their well child check, and the doctor prescribes a book to the family and encourages the family to read. So the families are hearing from pediatric practices in the community the doctors to read to their children as soon as they're 6 months old. And they're given books every time they go to the doctor. So we're at least touching the families. We're getting information to the families. Are we really providing a service to the family? The only thing we're providing is read. And here's the developmental milestones for your child. And if they're not meeting any of those developmental milestones, call me. Call my office. Then at that point we can fit you in the community to resources and programs that can help you. Because the only thing we want is for your child to be ready for kindergarten.
And I think that leads to the question. Next question I was going to ask is, how do these families know that these services are available? And you've answered that in a great degree.
A large percentage of them now are getting information at their pediatric practices. Mm-hmm. We also have a program that we work in the NICU unit at Carolina's Healthcare Center. If babies are born and go into the NICU, then we provide services there for them to give them information on resources in the community, because it's extremely overwhelming to have a high-risk pregnancy and then a baby that comes with need for medical care. Mm-hmm. So that program has been quite successful in the county. Smart Start is like a flow-through agency for state dollars and private dollars to get programs out in the community. I just thought that's one good way of explaining it to the community, because we work directly with direct service providers like the Family Support Network of Southern Piedmont to provide that program, and then Community Care of Southern Piedmont to provide the other. And then we've had quite success in our Parents as Teachers program, which is a home visiting program that goes into the homes and visits with parents and model appropriate parenting behavior for families. That's had some great results. We've also got some literacy classes for families with that are wanting to learn to read and also wanting to learn to speak English at the same time. Mm-hmm. We have a new program that we started last year called Celebrating Families that works with families that are experiencing substance abuse in the family of some kind, whether it be alcohol or drugs. It's a 16-week program and it's centered around the family. which when we started it last year, it started slow, but this last group that we had over 12 families and over 35 children in this group. Those are the things that our community needs, because we know drug abuse or substance abuse, and we know mental health is the two greatest things that we, concerns that we have in Cabarrus County, and we try to take the money that the partnership has and target the community needs. The other one that we're focusing a great deal on is childhood obesity, because that's the third one of the needs assessment that we needed to focus on. So we have a program in child care centers for that one.
Yeah, well, you're hitting on some of the hot topics that I wish we had. We could probably talk on for hours about the substance abuse, mental health, childhood obesity. Those are huge topics that I'm so glad your organization is staying on top of. And of course, we as a Board of Commissioners are trying to get more engaged in those issues, and specifically the substance abuse and mental health piece of it. And so we've put together a task force to start addressing and looking at some of those issues and making sure we're asking the right questions.
We are so excited you're doing that.
Yeah, great. Well, hopefully we'll see some good results.
Yes, we work very closely with Cabarrus Health Alliance, Cabarrus County Schools, and a lot of community agencies, and we're all working collectively as a group to support you in any way we can.
And I think that is the solution, is to get as many people on the same page together and make sure we're working as a team and trying to address some of these issues together, rather than people going in different directions, which seems like happens a lot of time, particularly in government. So we're trying really hard to create that team effort and say, okay, how can we support what you're doing, or how can we do these things together? I think our time is about up. So is there anything else you want to add? I think you've got a coat drive going on.
Yes, we do have a coat drive, and we're having an event at the Cabarrus Brewery. We'd love for you to come out and have fun with us and bring a coat for a child. We're looking for coats for children from size 12 months to 12, size 12 in children, and we provide usually in the community anywhere from 500 to 600 coats.
Wow.
Working in collaboration with the school systems and our community agencies and partners. I would just like to thank the county commissioners for supporting us to have space at the Department of Human Services, because we've recognized a lot of savings, and we've been able to start a lot of new family programs, and we wouldn't have been able to do that unless we would have had support from the county, and I am eternally grateful.
Well, I think that's one of those good partnerships that we talked about earlier, and I've heard from folks in our human services area that partnership has been very beneficial to both, and also, when we provide these types of services for our citizens, we don't want to have to run them around all over the county. Go here, go there. Transportation issues sometimes are one of the bigger issues for some of those folks, and so if we can make that as much of a one-stop shop as possible, I think we all gain for it. Well, I want to thank you.
Thank you
for giving your time today, and I've certainly enjoyed it. Once again, we want to thank the French Express Coffee House for hosting us today. If you haven't stopped in, I would encourage you to do that. They do a great job. And so, thank you for watching Out and About in Cabarrus County.
If you have suggestions for topics or location that you would like to see on Out and About, please contact us. Our email address is outandabout@cabarruscounty.us.